Hey everybody, what's up? Big Jason. Welcome to the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. How you doing today? Today we're talking about open rates. Do they matter or do they not matter? Okay, it's extremely important. A lot of BS going on. I've got a recent case study to discuss. The first thing, if you want to chat and ask questions in real time, because as you may or may not know, Google Hangout does have a delay. Go to breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype after you have Skype loaded, and it'll automatically put you into the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show private Skype group where we can chat real time. I've got it loaded on my other computer. That way I can see your questions. Anything I cover today in real time, ask as many questions as you have regarding that. And then throughout the show, ask as many questions as you like about email marketing in general. Anything and everything, fire away. All right, let me share the screen and let's get going. Let's try to bring up my toolbar. Almost got it. All right. Okay, so open rates don't matter, or do they? So here's a picture of a email marketing quote unquote expert saying open rates don't matter. All right, so as Dr. Flint McLaughlin of Mech Labs likes to say, there are no expert email marketers. There's only expert email testers and experienced email marketers. So remember that. So I want to remind everybody about the terms and conditions of today's show and all shows. You may not share this information with anyone. This includes your mastermind group, friends, JV partners, or anyone else, whether online or offline, especially Facebook. Violation of this agreement is punishable by death. But I do like blind rave reviews. Here's an example from Bon Halbert, son of the greatest copywriter who ever lived, Gary Halbert. He said, every email quote unquote guru I know warned against using one simple tactic, which increased my click-through rate 400%. Only Jason said such a tactic would work. And he actually got the tactic for me as well. So that's a really good rave review, but he doesn't actually reveal the tactic. And it's very appropriate today since he says click-through rate 400%, because we're going to discuss that. You know, a lot of quote unquote experts will say, well, so what? Increase click-through rate 400%, big deal. And we're going to cover why it's such a big deal and how full of it these quote unquote experts are. All right. Again, guys, breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype. Ask questions in real time. All right. Welcome, Brad. Brad just joined the private Skype group. And again, that's for asking me questions. That's this big discussion group and, you know, anything you want. It's only for asking me questions. All right. So what are you going to discover today? Should you worry about your open rates? Do clicks matter? Are sales the only key performance indicator you should be worried about here? And I'm also going to reveal a recent case study which put my client and email quote unquote experts in their place. Their assumptions in their place as well. All right, open rates. What's the big deal? Open rates don't matter. It's only sales. Well, as we're going to just find out that these 9 out of 10 experts that say open rates don't matter, they don't even know how much an email makes in sales. So it's stupid. You know, oh, only sales matter. How much did this email make? I don't know, but you know, it's only sales matter. Ridiculous. Okay. So there is some truth that high open rates don't necessarily equate to high sales or the highest sales. It's another thing these quote unquote experts don't really test. Okay. So a lot of times it's just what works, but I'm all about what works best. What's going to make you the most money. Okay. So to me, it's pretty simple. It's a mindset thing. You got a lot of bogus experts with their own assumptions. They're parroting other people's assumptions. But look, if you got a targeted dialed in list and you've got an amazing offer, wouldn't you want as many targeted people as possible to open up your email? Yes. So there's truth that people that try and be very broad in their subject lines, they can get a lot of opens, but sometimes not the most targeted opens because it's a crapshoot. You're thinking that, oh, it's just, you're using blind curiosity and you think it's going to get the most amount of people. And it might, but it might not get the most amount of qualified or targeted people. So these quote unquote experts assumption is that the open rates don't matter because they want targeted people. So low, high, doesn't matter. Well, BS. For my testing, the more qualified you put in the subject line, like curiosity plus specificity, sometimes you have higher open rates because the strictly blind subject lines, they're getting a lot of untargeted people, but a lot of the targeted people are going, meh, you know, your super psychological ninja tactics aren't working on them. But the more specific you get can sometimes lead to massive open rates because all the targeted people on your list, and yes, your list you want of primarily targeted people. So if you have a lot of untargeted people, that's your fault. That's bad list building. All right. So we're going to cover in this case study how being laser targeted in the subject line shot the open rates through the roof because more targeted people said, hey, I want that. Yeah, that I'm interested in that. Versus, you know, people going, meh. All right, clicks. Who cares? So again, yes, you can trick people. You can use blind curiosity, get a ton of clicks, but maybe not as many sales. But that doesn't necessarily mean every single time getting more clicks is going to get less sales because it's the same thing as a subject line. So you have a really targeted killer offer. You actually invested some decent money in getting an amazing sales letter. You don't want as many targeted people to see the sales letter as possible. Oh, no, no, no. I thought you just said sales is what's matters the most. Excuse me. Okay, so it's nonsense to say that clicks don't matter. Clicks don't matter when you get a ton of untargeted people. But for me and my clients, I want as many clicks as possible. I want as many targeted clicks out the yin yang, okay? And this case study is going to show you how ridiculous it is to say clicks don't matter, opens don't matter. All right. Arrogant assumptions don't matter. All right. So again, we're talking about sales are the only thing that matters, right? Wrong. Okay, first of all, not every single email, the goal is not a sale. So the case study I'm going to talk about is it's leads because they know depending on how many leads they get, how many sales they can expect. So the goal is to get a lead because this company, you got to get the person on the phone. All right. And again, like I said, these arrogant, assumptive bastards who are constantly deceiving people and saying open rates don't matter, click-through rates don't matter. Most of them don't even know how much money a certain email makes, okay? Which is ridiculous. It's foolish. the whole, money over time. Well, I make X amount per month and that's great. That's stupid. It's foolish. Not knowing which emails work and which emails work the best. If you do it the smart way, you can actually know what emails work the best and do more of that and do less of the emails that don't work at all. So you're just blindly firing. And, if you're just starting, that's okay, just to get started. But eventually you're going to have to dial in and stop throwing away money, because you are throwing huge, massive amounts of money. How do I know that? Because I test and I track this stuff. So I know the amount of money huge companies are leaving on the table. Huge companies that many people assume are, marketing Jedis that know all their numbers. They're doing all the right things. They're not. They're just like everybody else. So you definitely want to know how much money an email is working, and just realize that not every email is about, clicking add to cart and making a purchase. There's a lot of other goals involved. You got content emails, you got blog emails, you got product launch emails, where you just want to get them to watch the video, maybe go to your Facebook page or fill out a survey. All right, so let's talk about my recent case study. Again, guys, if you're joining me late, breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype. Join me and the rest of the gang on the private Breakthrough Email Marketing Show Skype group. You can ask me questions in real time versus the delay in Google Hangouts. All right. So here's a recent case study. 94.74% increase in unique opens. All right. That is huge. They have a pretty decent list. That's massive. But again, if you listen to the experts, it's probably going to lead to a decrease, or it's not going to necessarily mean an increase in sales or, goal, quote unquote, goal completions. A 360.07% increase in unique clicks. Okay. Very, very substantial increase. And again, not by trying to trick as many people as possible to click on the link. Again, my goal was not to get as many people to click on the link, not to get as many people to open up the rate. My goal was to get as many laser targeted leads as possible to open up the email and be like, heck yeah, and clicking on the link. $88.37% increase in leads. Again, leads is the goal for this particular scenario. That means not 88.37% getting to the page. That was covered with clicks. The email did its job, but actual 88.37% increase in leads getting to the page and completing the form. All right, that's huge. So just to illustrate this, so I just started working with these guys. This is November 1st, 2014 to November 13th, 2014. Again, here's the power of tracking. It took me like 10 minutes to set them up so they could actually see the email to customers and email to prospects. Again, you see they respond differently. You also want to, that's the power of segmentation. So you know how each segment responds. And so you can adjust accordingly. So November 1st, November 13th, 923 leads for the prospects, 90 leads for the customers. So this is what the client told me. They're like, we would like for every email sent to get the minimum of 100 leads. We know if we get 100 leads, that's golden. The phones are going to be ringing. The reps are going to be happy. The company's going to be making a ton of money. So between that time range, 4 emails. Okay, 4 main emails. That's the target is 400. So what do we have there? We have over 1,000. Okay. Over 1,000. That's huge. So again, anytime someone says open rates don't matter, clicks don't matter, tell them to stick their assumptions with a hot poker. Tell them to stick it where the sun don't shine. All right. Again, high open rates, high click-through rates don't necessarily mean an increase in sales or conversions every single time, but they can. Depending on the market, depending on the list. What did I use for tracking? Brad wants to know. I simply use Google Analytics. That's all you need. If you're a member of Email Response Warrior at emailresponsewarrior.com, I've got some modules in there on how to set that all up, but you can just Google it. I know if they're a customer for a prospect. I know which subject line. I know which link. So all those people telling you to pick, oh, the magic number is 3 links per email. It's idiotic. Don't listen. They don't even know what the conversion rate is for each link. And again, it's not that hard. It doesn't take me a lot of time. Once you do it once, you're just basically copying and pasting and changing a few variables for each email and just changing the subject line. All right. You also want to remember is landing page consistency. That's going to help you increase the sales and the lead conversion. All right. So you hype up the email. You're still targeted, but you come up with this crazy hook, but when they get to the landing page, it's not consistent with the email. Email follow-up consistency. So in this case, I mean, in any case, if it's a sale, if they're going add to cart and doing a purchase, you want to have a good retention rate. You want them to consume. You want a good relationship, so that's important. But especially as far as leads go, if leads is the goal, you want to have the landing page consistent. I've actually left out a slide. Thank you page. You want it consistent, restating the value proposition, all that good stuff, and then the email follow-up. You want it to be consistent with the landing page, the thank you page, and what you were saying in the email. All right, that's all going to help with your conversions, whether it's sales or leads. So let's recap what you discovered today. Open rates do matter if you know what you're doing and you don't go by assumptions. If you're testing, if you're tracking, if you know your numbers, they can lead to more sales. Definitely open rates can lead to more sales. Same thing with clicks. If you have a targeted offer, you don't want as many target leads clicking on the link. No. And they'll say, well, look at this email. It had more sales than, say, another email. Well, it worked. Good for you. But it didn't work the best. How much money did you leave on the table? So the more targeted people you get to click, the better. And again, there's more than one key performance indicator than sales. Again, most of these experts are saying, oh, it's the sales, the only thing that matters. For one, they don't even know how many sales the email made. Not all, but most. And then two, there's lots of different emails, lots of different goals. But again, open rates and clicks do matter for no matter what the goal is. You want as many people opening and reading your email, engaging with you, as many people clicking, and again, as many people buying. So the more people that read, the more people that see your offer, the better chance you have of making more money. And that does not contradict the fact that you can drive a ton of unqualified people and not make as many sales, or you can get a high open rate by targeting, a broad range of subscribers versus targeted. There's no contradiction there. So don't buy the hype or people's assumptions. Typically, what I see, it's more of a positioning statement. So they know that newbies are all fascinated with high open rates. So, it's kind of like a contrarian position, but it's deceitful and it's bullshit. All right. Any questions about what I covered? Any other questions about email marketing in general? Fire away. I've got, let me see, some weight loss emails, diabetes, and memory to write. So, andale, hurry up. And again, if you haven't, go ahead and add my email address, bigjason@emaildominion.com, to your contact list, whitelist, safe senders list. Create a folder for breakthrough email marketing. So you don't miss any of my shows. And if you're interested in learning more, I just popped up Email Response Warrior. Over 17 years of breakthrough email marketing response strategies based on real results, not guesswork and assumptions. Emailresponsewarrior.com. So check that out. Let me know if you have any questions. You can hit me up on Skype at Big Marketing. And back here in lovely Las Vegas near Zappos. All right, it looks like there are no further questions. Hope you got a lot out of that. I'm going to continue on my health and wellness niche project. A lot of emails to write, and I will be with you guys soon. So be on the lookout for my emails. I actually have a huge announcement coming soon. I've persuaded the top copywriter at Agora to do a hangout with me. He's going to reveal some of the strategies that he's been using to, kick ass for Agora, one of the top direct response companies in the world. Oh, might have one question. Again, if you want to give me a shout out on Facebook, my Facebook is facebook.com/big marketing. Do I split the list to test email components, or do I send to the whole list? Both. That's a good question. When you're split testing, you don't want to mix up the traffic. That goes for landing pages. You don't want to test organic and paid because they respond differently, so your results could be invalid. Same thing with emails. So you don't want to do a split test of customers and prospects mixed in. All right. But then with your stats, even if you're not testing, just from a response rate measurement, you don't want to be sending the same email to your entire list or customers and prospects because they respond differently. And the people that respond the least could be dragging your stats down. And so you're making changes and you're trying to prove it when actually what you're doing is great for the more targeted people. Okay. So in my example, the prospects actually responded more is because that the customers, they're not going to need the service as much, or they've already used the service and they might not need it for a while. So that's why it's good to know how each one responds. Okay. And then you can target your emails differently. You can talk to them differently. Different hooks, different language, different trigger points? Good question. Yeah, I've seen when I go into companies and I make them, and again, don't let people's failures, fears, and frustrations and their inadequacies in the bedroom be projected onto you. Just because they suck doesn't mean you have to suck. All right. So just because someone says, "Oh, it's too complicated, it's too much time," doesn't mean it has to be for you. What I do, I send the email to the prospects. Boom, copy it. Just change. Typically, I only have one link, maybe two. Just change the link to indicate that it's customers, and that's it. I click send again, only to customers. It's not that big a deal. Hopefully that answers your question. So yeah, I've come into companies and it's been dramatic by just changing that, sending the email to prospects and then sending the email again to customers. And knowing the difference, you get a much better picture. All of a sudden you have great click-through rates and open rates to one segment versus the other. And then you can focus on improving one segment and doing more of the same and even better with the other. Always remember the main goal of split testing and testing and all that, and even just measuring, even if you can't test or don't know how to test, the goal of measuring and testing is not the bump, but the learning. What are you learning about your prospects? What are you learning about your customers? What moves them? What drives them? What are they afraid of? You can learn all that by measuring your email. Split testing to segments. Yes. You know, for customers, you have hyper responsive customers and then just regular customers, customers that have purchased once versus customers that have bought every single thing that you have. So that's definitely something you could test, one versus the other. And yes, for both prospects and customers, if they have different interests. So email marketing. So you've got list building. There's going to be some that are interested in PPC. Some are going to be more interested in copywriting courses. Individual variables. If you're seeing a crappy response, I wouldn't worry about testing the variables. I'd be testing the whole different type of email. Subject line, body, call to action, everything. Worry about the individual variables later. Okay. That's another myth, is that you have to know exactly what improves the response. You think my clients really care? They're just like, you know, head over heels, ecstatic about the boost in response. You know, the 88.37% increase in leads, 360.07% increase in click-throughs, and 94.7% increase in opens. They're just like, keep on doing what you're doing. So I am. And I'm not going to stop testing. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining me. Big Jason, Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. I'll see you next time. Again, if you are interested in learning more, both newbies and more advanced email marketers, Email Response Warrior at emailresponsewarrior.com. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Thanks.